take a photograph of your poster in the window.
Yeah.
You're kind of letting people know that as happening more and more in this country.
Yeah.
Somebody that, currently is sort of suing you for saying they fell here and then they want damages and all that.
Right.
We've seen yesterday it hit the newspapers that a lady in Dublin 20,000. We also had our famous Hill Walker incident that thankfully the money didn't stay in her bank account, but she got a lot of money too.
Yeah.
It does seem like we're living in a time where people are just kind of using this scenario as an money
excuse. And that's why we have an increase in cameras. We usually put cameras everywhere now for that reason.
Yeah.
You know, that you see that sometimes, this instance in Bray, that somebody spilled water in the toilet and then it slipped on it.
Right.
And they were able to see that he done it himself. And this is happening all the time. Like, it's on the news every day. And we at the moment here been hit by this.
Well, of course, as much as and you know, each individual case is different, and some people will be genuine, and some people maybe not genuine.
If
but
there is negligence, that's okay.
That's fine. But we do know also that it has been said, and of course, everybody loves solicitors. They're lovely people. There's never a bad solicitor in the world. We know they're all good people, but there is a suggestion too that, of course, they make out so wonderfully in this scenario.
So much money. They make money from both sides.
Of course. The
claimant and me, for example.
Right.
You know, so they're making money anyway.
Yeah.
Regardless if you win or lose, they make money.
I think what the crucial thing to remember, as much as that pushes up the price for everybody, you know, everybody pays for that. It's
my insurance has gone up now already from last year to this year by $1,000, and that's before this claim.
Okay.
If this claim comes through, I might not be able to get insurance. That's what the broker told me.
Right.
They might not cover you anymore. That's a big problem.
Well, that is the ugly side of it. That it's not just that this money falls from a tree or is at the end of a rainbow. This money has to be paid back.
Yes, everybody will pay more. Everybody will pay more.
Right.
And in Ireland, if you go in seaside, there's no activities for this reason.
Right.
If you go abroad in Spain or whatever, you can do a lot of different activities. Over here, you can't because the insurance is too expensive, and people can do it. They'd rather not do anything.
Might it be cheaper just to get somebody at the door here and have bubble wrap? Just put everybody in bubble wrap.
Something like that.
Just completely bubble wrap them.
Like the Michelin Man.
Yeah, and then you can mush their food into like a paste. They can put it to a straw.
Well, it makes you think twice because this person, I let her use. Our toilet is locked. The door is locked there.
Right.
She comes in. She wants to use the bathroom. She was an elderly woman, and she was helped by her daughter.
Right.
And when she went to use the toilet, I let her use my toilet.
Okay.
She falls. She was left on the ground. The daughter didn't even help her up. She came straight to call the girls to come and see that my mother's at the back.
Wow.
You see, that looks a bit dodgy to me.
Right, that they always.
But as soon as the girl went there and they picked her up, the daughter went and used the toilet without giving any comfort to the mother.
Right.
She was just standing there watching, thinking about her incoming holiday, I think.
It used to be. I used to always imagine, you know, this is just an American phenomenon. When I lived in America in '87, that sort of ambulance chasing kind of culture that people joked about, guys driving around just looking for any kind of, and obviously their TV, afternoon television is just full of, have you had a small, you know, injury at work and all this kind of thing. It's a win-win as far as the solicitors are concerned because no matter who loses or wins the case, they win.
There was also a place up in Roundwater used to do kart racing in the forest. And the shooting. You remember what you call that?
Hunger Games.
That had to be stopped because of that.
Right.
You can't do that anymore. You can't do nothing in Ireland.
It's a dreadful thing because you literally are getting to a bubble wrap kind of mentality where you cannot in any way, shape or form have a risk factor involved in walking across the street or getting up out of a chair or...
Like years ago, maybe 20, 30 years ago in Bray, you could rent small boats with paddles. Right. You could do all this. There's nothing you can do on the seaside now because
the insurance
people will claim.
Well, I think it's one of those things that obviously 99.9% of people are aware and do not want to cause such grief, but it's that 0.1% just make a difference to the rest of us.
Because of that, everybody's insurance goes up.
Right.
Everybody's insurance goes up. Somebody has to pay for it. And it's not only me, it's everybody.
Right, well, here's hoping that common sense prevails here because that there is a recognition, I think, from the government on down that this is an abuse of like what is really, like in the case of your particular case, you were being very, very kind of generous to let somebody come in and you were being a good host. And
correct. But I told my solicitor, the claimant solicitor, that I won't make this public. I want people to know. I'm not hiding it. I want people to know that it's going on. I do my bits.
Yes.
And if this goes through, eventually I will say the name. I will put probably a name on the window there.
Right.
If this goes through and happen, I want people to know that this is happening.
Yeah. Well, I do hope, as I said, that you know that some kind of, I don't know whether it can be like a ruling that can cover all eventualities, but there just needs to be a clampdown on this kind of abuse of what is really, you know, I won't call it a loophole. I mean, everybody has their rights. Everybody has, you know, a kind of a, I would say, the right to go and say, well, I was injured, I did this, I did that. But the idea that plainly and blatantly it's a falsehood in many cases.
Of course.
It would be great just to think we could get a.
You get somebody who wants an older person, you want to come in, you give her a hand, you bring her there, whatever. She falls, she claims.
Yeah.
That tells you don't help anybody.
Yeah. I think get a bucket for outside. Just leave a bucket out there and have bubble wrap at the door.
Correct.
So.